Alright, welcome back to the channel. So in the last video we got the engine done and running, and in this one we are going to be attempting to rebuild the hydraulic pump. Full disclosure, I've never done this before. So I have two pumps here. This one is the one off my machine, which is an EX120-2. This one I got from the junkyard. It's off a -5, right? They're not the same. They're a little bit different. Actually, this one's quite a bit smaller. Is this the right? Actually, I had that backwards. This is off my machine, the -2, and this is the -5 I got from the junkyard. So this is just in case I panic on here. I can maybe take this one apart, and like if I pull this apart and springs go flying everywhere, then maybe I can come over here and try to figure out what happened. That's the idea. They're not really compatible. They have different connectors and sensors. So anyway, let's get right to it. I'll just start by washing this thing. It's coming back to me now. I remember this bolt broke off when I took it apart. So. Probably don't want the metal flakes to get into the pump housing there. Can you get this out of here? Yeah, I figured that wouldn't be stuck. Looks like someone just over tightened it and snapped it off. This hose has seen better days. Now that I've already gotten metal flakes in the pump, there's no going back. Okay. Thing's not too big. I mean, how complicated could it be, right? I think the manual for it is only like 20 or 30 pages. So this shouldn't be too bad. If you're wondering why I'm doing this, if you saw where I rebuilt the valve body, it was full of junk, you know, rust, water, dirt. So all that's probably been going through this pump as well. I think we're good. That's a little cleaner. Ooh. Ooh, a little bit of Loctite on there. So it looks like the old pump mount was no good. It's slightly worn out. Maybe, I guess, when you tighten it, it fits into these pins, maybe. So it fits on these pins, but man, it feels like it's going to be. It says size 28 on there. What does this one say? It says size 28 on here too. This doesn't really line up though. Did they send me the wrong one? Yeah, that doesn't line up. Unless this is just the rubber so torn up and dry rotted that it shrunk. That's possible, I guess. I mean, there's no way to do that. I guess I could get it started. Yeah. I guess that's right. All right, had to ground down the tips of these. Should work though. Oops. Nope, coming off easy. Oh yeah. Ooh. There we go. We did it. Ooh, I broke that connector, I think. Of course, there's a snap ring in here I didn't see. I can spot it in here somewhere. There it is. There we go. What? I must have dropped it or something and did that. Oh, uh-oh. Full of water and milkshake. Look at that. Guess I'm not surprised at this point. There we go. Okay. This is the pilot pump here, I believe. It's a gear-driven pump. Yeah. Just come out with it. Nope. This is the pressure sensor, I think it said. Fortunately, the connector got smashed on there. This is like a rubber cap. I don't want to grab it by that. Oh. Okay, these are the solenoid valves. The manual said to mark them. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll mark the connector on this one. Apparently these are kind of delicate too. I think I read that somewhere. Couple O-rings. Now, if you remember when I got this machine running, I think it was actually the wiring to these that was messed up, that was causing the engine to stall out. Because as soon as I fixed it to these and it worked, I like redid the wiring because it was all rotten. This is the angle sensor. I replaced this on the machine originally because when I was trying to get it to work, so this is actually a new one. Okay, have to remember how this goes in. This angled part in first. It's a spring plate is what this called this. Full of gunk. I don't think that matters though. Yeah, it's just grease. Actually, I think the manual was wrong. It was calling the other thing the P sensor, but I think this is the pressure sensor right here. So this obviously needs to come out. Yeah, that looks like a pressure sensor. Ooh, there's a RTV on there. This has been off before. Yeah, that looks pretty clean actually. Take that one off. Okay, so this is called the head. Time to take it off. I'm sure these are going to be stuck on. I think there's springs in here, so this is probably the step I need to be careful about. Oh, nice. It's definitely been in here before. Oh, this one's broken off too. I didn't even touch that one. This one was already broken off. This little cutout fits my wrench perfect. Is that all of them? So leave these in. Can I break it free? Yeah, there's a couple dowels I see. There we go. Okay, this looks like some stuff's gonna come flying out of here. Maybe, maybe not. Oh yeah, we got it. I mentioned I haven't done this before. All right, looking good so far. Ugh. These actually stuck, or is it just from over tightening? That one's, this is one that was already broken off. So that was just over tightened clearly. Nope, I'll have to get that one later. Just gotta be careful not to scratch it. O-ring surface. I don't think I want to pull this out because all the little plungers are still in here. And oh, this is the angle sensor. So this connects, so it must hook on the other plate. Okay, so this was on the pump head and this lever just sits in there. And then when the pump angle changes, it moves that around and then the sensor knows. Okay, well, I think I have to pull the rotor off here. I want to keep it oriented with the same plungers that are in here. So what I'm going to do, okay, we'll line it straight up with this hole and pull it out. And then hopefully I can find the plungers and put them back in here. Okay, so I think to get these out, you gotta Looking at the parts diagram, you can see this center thing right here needs to come out. I think this holds all the little plungers in. Oh yeah, it was just being held in by like the suction of the fluid. There's a little ball on there. Okay, now these should come out. Should just come out, right? Oh yeah, okay, phew. So that was, put these back in the right alignment. Pardon my hands here. Uh-oh, which one was that? Uh-oh. Okay, all right, next step is to take this lever out. Is this working? Give this a shot. This will probably crack the case or something horrible. Oh, I think we got it. Is that, oh, I get it. So it doesn't back all the way out. All right. All right, so we got that. Don't want to lose track of this. All right, apparently this plug holds the gear in, so. All right, this should just pop out now. I'm gonna tap on the front of the shaft. Well, I guess I can't really tap on it. I'm just gonna kind of hit the front of the shaft here, see if this gear pops out. Not budging. Just thinking it comes shooting out of here. All right, I just realized I'm an idiot because this can go right through here and I can just hit on here. Line it up there a little bit better. My good hammer has disappeared, so. I think it's coming. Just don't want it to shoot out the front. Okay, whoa, that was close. That was really close. That was probably not the best way to do that. If I was smart, I would have put something right here because this thing slid out of there without much effort. So just really a lot of dirty fluid. Bearings seem like they might be okay. Gear teeth all look good. Okay, it says you need a puller to get this out. Oh, this is pretty loose in here. Oh, that outside race of that bearing is pretty loose in there. I don't think it should be doing that. That looks like it's, huh. Well, whatever. Let's see. No, yep, it's not gonna work. So it looks like you need a specialty puller. There's a ridge right here. I'm not sure if you can see that. Right here, and it grabs onto that, fits in this hole perfectly, and then it runs a rod through to the back of the case, and obviously you screw it in and pull this out. Oh, this might work actually. I just need to cut these back and thin them out, and I can get it in there. All right, slight modification. Actually, this needs to go in. Let's see how this could go wrong. You're gonna break that. Yeah, it's flexing the... It's not moving. If I go too hard, it's gonna break it. What can I do? I can knock this gear back here through here too, maybe? I don't know. Ooh. That did something. Oh, that might have worked. What a relief if this works. I think I need this. Oops. I'm a little bit concerned about these. Oh yeah, you can tell this thing's been spinning. Look at that. Just gear. So it looks like this raised portion goes facing outward. Probably something I should remember. And oh, is this bearing stuck in here? Oh yeah, it's just tweaked. All right, I got it free with the slide hammer. All right, looks like we just got a seal in there. There we go, jeez. Just a couple things left. There we go. It almost looks like the tip of this is broken off. I can actually see it did break off, but it's about an inch in, maybe 3/4 of an inch. There's plenty of threads to get a grip on that, so I'm not going to worry about that. That should be fine. Just have to use a shorter bolt. Forget what these are for. I think some hydraulic line. It's got a little bent. I think that's everything. I was a little bit worried about this bearing. You can see kind of that mark on the outer race there. And if you look in here, see if you can see that there's like a ridge in there. It almost looks like it's been spinning in there. So I'm not sure what to think about that. So I guess at the very least when I put the new one in, maybe I'll put some retaining compound on there. I don't know. It's not really something you can easily repair, obviously. All right, I got the pilot gear pump. They want you to mark the mating surfaces, I guess, so you know which direction to align it. So I'll just put a Yikes. Not to scratch this. I need to get like a brass pick or something. Snap ring in there. Is this like a, oh, there's like a, I guess that's like a backup ring or something. Should probably keep this together, huh? A lot of milky fluid in here. No. Like a little key in there. Jeez. If they'd sealed it in or something to have something on the outer race. Looks like I got it out without scratching it though. All right, so everything looks decent here. Let's look at these gears. But they look okay. They just need to be cleaned. So I already ordered the rebuild kit for this. It's just a bunch of seals. So I think that's good to go, no problems. Definitely Loctite on here. I think you just have to, yeah. Some junk on here. Yeah, this stuff just needs to be cleaned up. Next up, we got this thing. I did see a rebuild kit that was like from a decent brand. It's not obviously, there's water on here. It's obviously not OEM, but I've had good luck with them so far. And it comes with all of this, but let's just kind of see. I haven't really looked at this. None of this is really smooth. It's kind of rough. This one's even worse. Do these even hold a vacuum? Let's see. Huh? Oh, I guess it would. You can hear it sucking a little bit. That one's way better. Like, that one doesn't want to come at all. This one, that one is not, that one's not very good. It's a little sloppy. That one's good. That one's good. Yeah. And that one's not very good. Okay, well, not the best. So I don't know. I'll have to I guess do a little thinking or research or something to figure out if I should replace all this or not. I think it was like, I want to say it was like 600 bucks to replace this, this thing, and then a seal kit was like $600, I think. Maybe it's worth it, I don't know. So I already broke this nut free in the vise, but, uh-oh, can I get it off here? This is what sets the preload for these bearings. So when it goes back on, it has to be set right. I think this acts as a lock ring on it. Yeah, this little steel band. This is like all stuck in one piece here. I can't figure out the best way to press this off. So if you can see in here, this is the outer race. So if I grab onto that and pull, or put it in the press, it's going to be dragging the inner race. I mean, the inner race is the part that's pressed on, so that's going to be pulling the whole thing off by the bearings. But I don't see any other way to take it off. I mean, it's just this one giant bearing, and then there's a little cup, and then there's another bearing. I have nothing really to get in here, so I guess I'm just going to cut a piece of whatever this is, 1/4 inch steel, just to get it right in there. Looks like the diameter is pretty close to this as far as this bearing race. Whoopsies. I'm not going to cut any of this off just because I don't want to waste any steel. So, see how this fits. Ooh. I just don't want to hit the inner cage here. So yeah, I guess I'll give that a shot. Just doesn't seem like the right way to do it, but I can't think of any other way to do it. Okay, this is the old outer bearing race for the swing device, which I had to cut off, which just might work though. Yeah. All right. Oh, it's bending the steel. Nice. All right, back over here on the bench. I got a puller on it. There's a cup right here, so it's actually, I think it's pretty safe for the bearing. We'll see when I get it off, but it does appear to be coming off. Hopefully the bigger ones just slide right off after this. And hopefully I haven't damaged anything. So what was that pulling by? I guess it was pulling by the bearing, but I didn't put a lot of force on that. So these are not going to slide off, obviously. That would be too easy. All right, it took a bit of effort and a lot of experiments, but off camera I got this thing finally. Finally this inner race is pulled back from the gear. And basically what I had to do is I took this that I had made and I pushed against this inner retainer, which is obviously not ideal, very bad. I don't think I damaged it, but I probably did, just because, I didn't have to use a lot of force, maybe a couple tons to break it free, but there was nothing else to grab on. This is right up against that gear. I couldn't get anything in there. There might be some kind of specialty tool I don't know about. The manual basically just says remove the bearings. It doesn't say anything. It's basically just you're on your own, rot's a ruck. So no help there. Anyway, now I should just be able to get a bearing separator on there and finish this off. Coming off at an angle. There we go. My goodness. This thing survive? Looks like it. I think I'm gonna look for like new old stocks on eBay or something, because I can usually get pretty lucky on bearings. and I think it would be worth it. Let me show you real quick. I think I see some wear spots. So I think it might be worth it just to replace these, especially since I was pushing right here with the press to get this thing broke clean. Let's look at the inner. Yeah, they're definitely worn. I mean, obviously. Actually, on like this one right here, that groove, I can get my fingernail started on there. So it'd probably be a good idea to replace these, I'm thinking. They do take a lot of load. Yeah, I can see. I'm not sure if you can see that. They're just not in the best condition. How did this go back together? Oh, so that was there. Was this? All right, guys. Well, that's it for this video, I guess. You got this thing completely taken apart, and we just obviously need to do some cleanup work on it. I'd like it to be super clean. I want to be able to eat some food out of there if I need to. Still don't have a plan yet what to do on these internal parts. Like I said, I could replace them for $500-600. I've also seen though that some shops will go and they'll like relap these with like a grinding paste against like this valve block to the head, and then they'll do it from this surface to the back of that surface. Both of those surfaces are like worn. I mean, you can feel, well, that one's okay, but like this is, I can feel scratches on there, which is not good for having a good pressure on your pump. So either resurfacing those or just getting new ones. These plungers I was kind of unsure about, but I checked them again and they did hold the vacuum pretty well with my finger. So those might be okay, or maybe I just replaced the plungers, and I don't know. I still need to do a little bit of research, but that's kind of where my mind's at right now. Definitely gonna look for some new bearings. I kind of looked already on eBay and I think I found some. Really, it's just when you look at the trade number on here, there's like a bunch of suffixes on these, like ST on these. And I think this one had like a ton of suffixes. I just need to look up what those actually mean. A lot of times they aren't important if you're gonna replace it, but sometimes they are. Okay, so if you're curious how this thing works, it's actually pretty simple. This is a piston type hydraulic pump. So basically this is the shaft coming directly off the engine. And you have these pistons in here, and then you got this center, let me get the centerpiece in here real quick. So the pistons go in each of these bores, like so. And then this is run at an angle. So as it spins, you can see that piston in there is coming out and going back in. So basically all that's doing is this action right here. So when it pulls out, it's sucking in fluid, and then when it comes back in, when it comes back around, it's pushing fluid. That's run up against this block right here, which is should be a firm seal, but this one is a little bit worn. That block goes on here. So as this spins around, it's pulling fluid out of here, which is like the reservoir, and then it's pushing it into these ports, which is the high pressure port, I believe. I think that's the high pressure port. And that's basically how it works. So there's all this, there's also a bunch of sensors. There's a engine speed sensor, there's a hydraulic load sensor, which is like checks for differential pressure. And that tells it if it wants to adjust the angle. So this thing can go from like a 2-degree angle to like a 30-degree angle using those servos that I pulled off the top, these right here. So if it detects a big hydraulic load, it'll increase the angle, which means these pistons are coming in and out more, which gives you more flow through your pump here. And on this particular machine, like the throttle control for the engine, all that is controlled by the computer. There's really no control in the cab for that stuff. It's all electronic, and I realize you can bypass it, but for now, we'll try to just do that as it is. So there's also gear-driven pumps for hydraulics, and that's kind of like the pilot pump, or like an oil pump in an engine. And then there's vane-style pumps, which if you saw me rebuild the Cat hydraulic pump, that's what that was. That was a vane pump. So there's kind of the 3 main types of pumps. And this is the first time I've done one of these though. I did look up this pump though. This is the -5 pump that I have. It's actually a double pump. So it has 2 of those cylinder blocks in there that are spinning. driven off the gearing. So this one's kind of completely different than the design of the other one. I mean, it's similar, but it doesn't share any parts, so it's not going to do me any good. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this pump now. Probably shouldn't have bought it. So yeah, that's where we're at. I guess I will see you for the next video. We'll be putting it back together. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.